The Roman Catholic Church has been an important figure in Western European politics since its establishment. However, during recent centuries, the Church's authority has been steadily declining. This process can be separated into time periods. Catholic Christianity actually began as a persecuted religion, but gained popularity within a couple of centuries. Within 300 years of its establishment by the Apostles, Catholicism became the official religion of the Roman Empire, with the conversion of the Emperor Constantine. The fall of the Roman Empire in the 400s created a power vacuum which was filled by the Roman Catholic Church, which claimed spiritual authority over the West. The peak of the Church's power came during the reign of Pope Innocent III in the early 1200s, which was essentially a papal monarchy. The Roman Catholic Church maintained its power through accumulating wealth and harshly suppressing heretics. The Church was very rich, which it accomplished in multiple ways. People had to pay to have their children christened, relatives buried, etc. The Church also sold items such as relics, pilgrimage certificates, and indulgences, which were certificates signed by the Pope that pardoned sins. Additionally, people had been told and truly believed that the only way to get to heaven was through the Church. By the 1300s, the Church had started to decline. The beginning of the end was the Great Schism in the late 1300s and early 1400s. Pope Clement V decided to move the papacy to Avignon in France. Clement's death created a power vacuum, which was filled by 3 different popes, one in Avignon, one in Rome, and one who was elected to solve the dispute. The Great Schism challenged the idea that the Pope is chosen by God, which resulted in a loss of credibility of the Church. A resulting protest, the Conciliar movement, advocated a representative council to limit the Pope's power. Generally, during the 1300s and 1400s, lay people were becoming more knowledgeable as a result of the printing press and increased literacy. People started to practice individually and had more influence in their local cultures. The Reformation in the 1500s was an important era of decline in the Church's authority. Many Protestant groups opposed to the Roman Catholic Church rose up all around Europe. People started to recognize church corruption abuses such as the sale of indulgences and of church positions. In 1517, Martin Luther posted his 95 Theses, which essentially started the Protestant Reformation. In England, the Reformation saw a total split from the Roman Catholic Church. Henry VIII wanted a divorce, however the Pope wouldn't grant him one, so with the Act of Supremacy, he declared himself head of the Church of England and permitted his own divorce. In Northern Europe during the Reformation, Calvinism and Lutheranism became much more prevalent. The religious wars were another time that saw the decline of the Church's power. In 1598 in France, Henry IV's Edict of Nantes recognized minority religious rights and gave Huguenots, French Protestants, more religious freedom, recognition, and political rights. The 30 Years' War from 1618 to 1648 pitted Catholics and Protestants against each other in the Holy Roman Empire. The Treaty of Westphalia, which ended the war, stated that German princes could decide their state's religion. The Enlightenment and Scientific Revolution also presented many challenges to the Roman Catholic Church. Rather than rejecting specific church doctrines like the Reformation, the Enlightenment rejected organized religion as a whole. The philosophers, including such as Voltaire, David Hume, and Immanuel Kant, generally opposed the Church, and there were many radical criticisms of the Church and Christianity. The scientific revolution saw new scientific discoveries that directly contradicted the Roman Catholic Church, which led to less faith in church authority. One notable example of this is Copernicus' heliocentric theory, which contradicted the Bible's supposed interpretation of the universe. Galileo Galilei presented a famous instance of the clash between science and religion. In 1632, Galileo published Dialogue on the Two Chief World Systems, and publicly supported Copernicus's views. In 1633, he was condemned at a trial and forced to renounce his views. Later, in 1992, Pope John Paul II ordered the reassessment of the case and found errors in the clergy's actions, which was a clear blow to the credibility of the Roman Catholic Church. The 1800s was generally a century of intellectual skepticism. Intellectuals challenged the Church in 3 ways. The first was its historical credibility. They questioned whether the Bible actually gives evidence about Jesus' life, and this resulted in lost faith in Christianity among the literate. The second area of challenge was scientific accuracy. New scientific discoveries and theories contradicted the Bible, such as Charles Lyell's claim that the earth is older than the Bible says, and also his explanations of geographical features naturally, or with the absence of God. Finally, intellectuals began to question the morality of the Church. The 19th century also saw many conflicts between church and state, such as secular state-funded schools, for example, the Education Act of 1870 in England. Generally, the 1800s and 1900s, liberal Western states became stronger and gained authority over the Roman Catholic Church. Starting in the 1300s and quickening during the 16th century with the Protestant Reformation, the Roman Catholic Church was on a constant downfall, only to be subjected to the authority of the state by the 19th and 20th centuries.